Thanks for coming back, guys. We're in our second video. We're talking about the differences between Grunt 3 and 4. So the upgrade migration guide from 3 to 4 kind of explains all the differences. And so I came to the Grunt site, to the migration page from 3 to 4 to kind of give us a better idea of what's been changed in these two versions. So the first thing it says is, the Grunt that you used to know and love has now been split into 3 separate pieces. Grunt itself, the Grunt command line runner, which we saw in the last video, and another one, the Grunt init library. So Grunt init used to be part of, Grunt. You could init up several different packages, and now that's its own project. So it says you're going to install Grunt locally to your project, and it contains the code and logic for running tasks and loading plugins in that version of Grunt. The command line interface you're going to install globally. And having the command line interface installed globally, that's what puts the Grunt command into your path so that you can access Grunt from anywhere. And then the init, so that you can init up basic Grunt files or jQuery plugin frameworks, or maybe you want to make your own Grunt plugin so that you can init your own stuff. The Grunt init project is also something that it's been broken out in its own, and you're going to install that globally as well. So let's go ahead. In the first video, we installed the Grunt and Grunt CLI. So let's go ahead and get installed globally the Grunt init. So we'll say sudo npm install -g grunt init. It's going to go ahead, take care of it for us. So once we've installed that globally, if we say grunt init, it's going to say we do have 2 templates by default. It can give us a basic Grunt file, and it can help us scaffold a kind of a Grunt plugin of our own. But if we want some of those other features like jQuery plugin and some of the other stuff it offered for us before, so let's come to the project scaffolding page, and this will explain to us how we can get those other Grunt init templates back in 4.0, the ones we had from 3.0. So if you come down here and you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see all those templates that we used to have: the common.js template, the Grunt file, the Grunt plugin, jQuery, and a node module. So if we want that scaffolding back and those generators to come back, we're going to have to manually install those. So when we installed Grunt init a second ago, inside our home directory, it made a folder called .grunt init. And we're going to have to go to GitHub, and for each of these init generators that we want, we're going to have to clone them. So if you wanted the jQuery plugin Grunt init template back, from anywhere you would say git clone GitHub, you'd clone the URL, and then you'd put it right at the base of that git init folder that it made in our home directory. And once you copy these in there, once you clone those into there, then you can say git init jQuery plugin, you can say git init node, git init common.js, and it will take care of that same scaffolding that you always had. This is simply the way you'll need to do this going forward in the new 4.0. So for our purpose, they've kind of taken care of the 3 things that we used to do, and they've kind of broken them out into 3 separate files. So another main thing that I noticed when we upgraded was that in 3.0, the Grunt file used to be called grunt.js, and in 4.0 it's called Grunt file. And if you're supporting CoffeeScript, it's gruntfile.coffee, but if you're not, it's just gruntfile.js. And this is kind of akin to make file or rake file. in Grunt. Now they're calling it Grunt file, which I actually really like. So yeah, and then in Grunt Vanilla, before we had several core utilities and plugins that just kind of came as part of the library, things that we didn't actually have to go and manually install from Node or grab from GitHub. Things like we had a watch plugin, and that doesn't exist in the box. None of these exist in the box anymore. These are all things that we actually need to now go and install manually as Grunt plugins. So those core tasks have kind of been, they have been removed, and Grunt's a lot more minimalist as you install it, and you have to add on the things that you need when you need them. So those are some of the big things I thought that I noticed when I installed it. The way that you can configure your files has been, they're saying greatly enhanced, and I built a plugin in 4.0, and I thought that all the utilities that they're giving us now were huge, and some of the main things is if you used to read in a property this way, config prop subprop, you're now going to template it with a little bit more traditional templating thing with bracket % equals and then the property dot subproperty name. In the past, if we were going to read a file in, we'd say JSON : file JSON, and now we actually have these grunt.file APIs, and we can read JSON, we can read XML, we can just read a bare file. In the past, if we wanted a template, we put in this kind of a tag here. Now we just say grunt.template.process, and then we say grunt.file.read, and whatever the template file was, that's what it's going to go ahead and read in for us. So there's quite a few different things as far as getting your bannering and reading in property files and stuff. But I really like the new approach better. But if you want to know a little bit more about the rest of it, come in here on the upgrading from 3 to 4, and this will kind of explain to you all the different things that changed. And the rest of it, from what I could see, is more for people who are going to build Grunt plugins, and for those who are just going to be users of Grunt, I don't think we need to cover the rest of the things in here. We'll cover them in a separate module. So come back for our next tutorial, which will be on installing a couple basic tasks into our Grunt 4.0 file, our Grunt file, and we'll talk a lot about the Grunt file and kind of how you configure it. After that, we'll get into some simple tasks just to kind of give us an idea of how simple it is to get Grunt running. But if you have any questions, come down and grab us, or email us, or hit us up on Twitter, and we'll try and answer your questions. And for those of you who aren't sure who us is, my name's Aaron Frost, and my teammate is Dave Geddes, and you can come grab either one of us, and we'll make every effort to help you out. But if you don't need any help, we'll hopefully see you in one of the next videos. Thanks, guys.